What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 31 Days of Horror. I am your host, Mood616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yes, 31 Days of Horror, Volume 8, Day 26, coming at you live and direct. Alright, so we're going to take a trip from the foreign land of Canada, and we're going to go all the way over to Serbia. This is a film that I've had in the collection for a little bit, and I've been really wanting to watch it. I just thought, you know what? Fuck it, let's do it for the 31 Days of Horror. Not really knowing a whole lot about this one. In fact, there's not a lot of cinema I've actually seen from Serbia. I've seen a few films from Serbia, a Serbian film included, of course. But yeah, I don't really know much about the country's history with cinema and stuff like that. I know that they dealt with a lot of censorship and stuff like that over the years, but anyways, I digress. So a film from 1984, and it's called Strangler vs. Strangler. Yes, released by the amazing company Mondo Macabro. Now, only Mondo Macabro released something like this because I'm a huge fan of the company because I love world cinema, and that's what they specialize in, releasing these really kind of underground gems and just amazingness. So basically the premise of this film is it's about this overweight guy that sells flowers and stuff. You know, he deals with mommy issues and shit like that. Anyways, he ultimately becomes a strangler, you know, and you know, he's had enough and he just loses his fucking mind one day and he starts strangling women. And what happens is there's like this lead singer of this new wave rock band or whatever, and somehow he becomes like telepathically connected to the flower strangler, and they kind of link up and stuff like that. Anyways, this guy ends up writing a song about it, and they become even more linked and stuff like that. So now there's this detective. He's trying to figure out exactly who the Strangler is. And yeah, so basically I'll just leave the premise right there. So my thoughts on this movie? God damn, dude, this movie is funny as hell, man. Okay, so I didn't really know much about going into this, and it turns out it's basically a really dark black comedy / parody with horror elements to it and stuff like that. Dude, I started laughing right fucking away, man. It was so funny. So the way this film opens up, it's essentially kind of a parody of like metropolitan cities. And it's kind of making fun of the horror genre and stuff like that. And there's a few other things that they're poking fun at and stuff. But the film opens up with this narration, and that's one thing I will say. The whole film is narrated, and I'm like thinking to myself, going, "Man, this narration sounds like it's somebody that did news or radio and stuff." It turns out it actually is. I'm not sure because I actually ended up watching the dub version. Once I realized it was like a dark comedy and stuff, I switched it over to the dub version, and it made it so much better, enjoyable to watch. So anyways, so the film opens up with this whole narration about like how this the city in Serbia has like 2 million people, and it's got all the crime, you know, it's got the murders, the rapists, and the robberies, and the exhibitionists, and all this shit and stuff. But what it really needs to be, a metropolitan city, is a serial killer. It needs one of those serial killers to compete with the likes of like Paris and New York and Los Angeles and all these metropolitan cities and stuff. And I just started howling. I'm like, oh my god, dude, really? Like, they're going there with that? So right away, I'm just pissing myself. But I wasn't really prepared for exactly how this movie was going to be compiled. Like, it has a lot of transitional headers and stuff in the film. It's narrated throughout the movie by this voice and stuff, and it's pretty good, man. It's pretty awesome. But it's just a really, really bizarre, really dark black comedy about this dude that ends up losing his fucking mind, and you know, this new age singer that so stupid how he becomes telepathically connected to him and stuff. But then once he makes the song, you know, it brings in the Strangler, and he becomes obsessed with the singer and stuff like that. But then honestly, the detective in this film that's investigating these murders and stuff kind of steals the show, man, because at one point he becomes kind of linked with them too. And he starts to fucking lose his mind like crazy. And he's so funny looking, dude. He literally has a Hitler stash. I'm just pissing myself. Like, it's ridiculous. He's so over the top, and there's so much crazy shit that's happening in this movie. And like I said, you know, it's a dark black comedy, so there's no real gore with the kill scenes. All the kill scenes are these stranglings, right? Which is pretty cool. Actually, there's a gore scene that comes out of left field, having to do with someone's ear getting bitten off. That's actually pretty funny. But Yeah, man, this one's really good, man. It had me in stitches through the whole film. I was really enjoying the way they made this film. I mean, it is shot like a film noir. It kind of feels like the Pink Panther at times. It's kind of strange. And it goes into like this psycho territory also, which is really interesting too, which I think that's kind of what they're parodying with the horror elements, with the psycho thing, and it feels like the goofiness of the Pink Panther detective thing and stuff, but it's shot like a film noir. It's very, very dark, and I feel like the cinematography just plays off the actual content of the film being so dark and stuff. It just really works really well. The interesting thing about this movie is it never tries to like fully alienate itself, and it keeps it so fresh, because not only is our flower Strangler a very kind of likable person, so is the new wave musician. Like they're not bad people. It's just something has happened and they've snapped and stuff. You know, they're very likable characters, which is very interesting. I know it's done on purpose for the film to keep it a little bit more on, you know, down here and not too extreme and stuff like that. Which I really thought that was a nice little element to the film. In fact, you know, the people that they're killing are essentially kind of shitty people and stuff like that. So, you know, it's a little bit of a justification because they are such likable characters. But yeah, even the music in the film is really good. Actually, the song that the new wave band member writes in the film is really catchy, man. It's super, super catchy. It plays out throughout the film many, many times, because that's the song that really kind of links them, or the flower Strangler, to him, kind of thing. And you know, it really works. But yeah, like there's some really interesting moments too. So the lead singer, there's a scene where he takes a girl back to his room, and I noticed on the wall that there's a Deadly Eyes poster, like the Canadian killer rat film from like '82, up in his room. And then there's a Friday the 13th Part 2 poster too, which is really cool. There's a moment in the film where it basically has a header that says Friday the 13th. So one of the concerts takes place on Friday the 13th, and it was such a bizarre scene too, because it's like got these like neo-punk Nazis and stuff, and like this group of guys are holding up a Confederate flag. And I just thought that was so bizarre. I mean, it's obviously a joke, right? It's a dark comedy and stuff. But like they're in Serbia and they've got a Confederate flag. I just started laughing. I'm like, oh my God, this thing's like out of control, man. They're just making fun of shit left and right. But, you know, even with that said, the comedic elements, the dark comedic elements to the film are not overly like goofy. It's funny. It's very, very clever in its approach, the way it progresses the film, and it comes down to like the craziest epilogue, man. Like it just goes fucking batshit, man. Like, I mean, not like Cat 3 batshit, but like just the way the characters and what happens to them, and with the detective, and like I said, the whole detective angle is, he just starts to lose his shit too, but like the way it all comes together in the end is just ridiculous. It's so much fun. Very, very well written film, very well paced. I love the cinematography. The music was great in it. I thought the performances were really good in it. I thought the guy, you know, this guy right here, the overweight flower Strangler, was really good, as was, you know, the director. I can't think of who that guy looks like. Who does that guy look like? He looks like somebody. I couldn't place it the entire film. I'm like, that guy looks like somebody. But yeah, just the whole premise of this thing where they're parodying these metropolitan cities and they need serial killers. You know, it's like, it's absolutely ridiculous. So there's more commentary going on in there with Serbia and stuff like that. I think, what's the name of the city? It's like Belgrade. Belgrade is the name of the city that they're talking about and stuff. And, you know, it's this big city, but it's, you know, it needs that one element, which is the serial killers. I love that premise. It's so damn funny. It's probably not going to be for everybody. It's, you know, I mean, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. If you watch this review and then watch the movie, at least you'll know that there's going to be narration throughout the whole film. I thought at first it was just going to be, they're going to introduce the film with this narration, kind of give you a breakdown of what they're really doing, but it goes throughout the whole film, and it actually really does work. You know, it has its dark moments. Like I said, it goes into like psycho territory, and it's a little bit goofy with the detective and stuff, but not over the top goofy. But all in all, really, really good movie. I'm going to give this one about an 8 out of 10. Apparently it's directed by, I can't pronounce the guy's name for the life of me. I'm sorry, but he's like one of the most renowned Serbian directors, I think, of this time or whatever. So that's really cool. Let me know down below if you guys have any info on him and stuff like that I need to know about. But yeah, it actually says on the back here, one of his country's most successful filmmakers. So yeah, there you go. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, Strangler vs. Strangler. If it sounds up your alley, check it out. Like I said, it's a black, dark comedy, and then it has horror elements, so, you know, but still worth your time. Definitely check it out. But yeah, that's going to conclude day 26 here, guys. I'll be back tomorrow, day 27. And I think we're going to be going to Hong Kong again. I think that's where we're going. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, you know, that's all I want to say about Strangler vs. Strangler. I don't want to give everything away. I'm not going to give, you know, a lot of the jokes and a lot of the scenes away and stuff like that. But there is some really funny stuff in this. At least I thought it was funny because I love dark comedy and with a message and stuff. It's pretty funny. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for day 26. Check you guys tomorrow, day 27. As usual,